Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome here to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And listen, you guys, everyone, you're going to be in for a treat tonight because guess what? You are witnessing the seasons two, first of the season on location. I told you we were stepping our game up a little bit for this season. But I am one of the things I am so happy that I am in my own home city of Fellisburg, Maryland, which everyone say is a small little town. But let me tell you, there's some heart here of a great restaurant that is here that will say yummy to your tummy, as the kids would say. And I'm here with the owners, Mr. Ricky Vaughn and Miss Candace Green here tonight. And let me tell you, we're here on spot, on location here at the Let's Brunch Cafe. So we're going to welcome them. Let me introduce you to look, it's fabulous. It's smelling good in here. There's customers in here that are enjoying the wonderful food. Hey, I'm getting ready to tell you what I'm seeing. I've got this nice big dessert that's just rolling around this camp here. So let me get into the talk here because look, all this food is just like making me hungry. So Ricky and Candace, first I want to say thank you so much for tuning in and letting me come into your place of business because you know what? We are just excited to be here tonight. I know I am. I've actually visited before I came to ask about being here. You know, you say you ask not because you have not. So I asked, and here we are. So to give the audience, tell the audience a little bit about yourselves.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you for having us. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support as well. So I am Ricky Vaughn. I am accompanied by the beautiful, my partner in crime, my queen, Candace Green. She's actually the boss, and I'm just one of the guys she just point to and say, "Go do this." So, but we're happy to be here as well.
Yes, and I'm so happy to be in here. Look, I like thank you, Victoria, for joining in. She says, "Hey, hey, hey, blesses my sister. I can't wait to come and visit." You short. Look, she's actually in Greensboro, North Carolina, and all I be telling her about when I be cooking, she was like, "Y'all gonna make me move to Maryland." So yeah.
She could visit our location in South Carolina. We got a location in South Carolina.
Oh,
So if she can't make it this far up, we have one in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, which is that's one of our first locations. I think that was location number two.
okay. And look, audience, you need to go grab some of your friends. You need to share this video because I'm telling you, there's some scrumptious stuff that I'm going to read on this menu that's here tonight. And look, Victoria just said, I just gained 10 pounds listening to you. I'm telling you, Victoria, I'm gaining 10 pounds by smelling this. That's what's here. So let me say, Ricky, you saying second locations. So can you tell the audience just how you got started and when was the first location? And then give them the number on how many other locations there is.
Sure. So um, we started this brand, this concept about 3 years ago, 2019 actually. It's 2019, 3 years ago, because I'm bad with math. Prior to business, I'm bad with math. So 2019, we started the concept of Let's Brunch Cafe. Two of my favorite restaurants happen to be AHA and TGI Fridays. I don't drink, but I love pancakes and then I love wings. And so when I used to go out with my family, I was the problem child. So we had to go to 2, 3 different locations just to get me one meal. And so I started this concept just kind of as a merge of the two of them. We opened up our first location in Baltimore, Maryland, in 2019. Then 2020, we opened up our second location in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Surfside Beach, South Carolina. This is the third location. And then we have a fourth location in Johnstown, PA. And then we have, by the end of this year, we have three more coming on set, which is one in Texas and two in Florida.
Wow. You hear that? It's many destinations to reach the Let's Brunch Cafe. Look, and when you just said Myrtle Beach, because when I did go online, I did see the one where it's located in Myrtle Beach. So I will actually be visiting there in a couple months. So I'm gonna make sure and I'm gonna take a picture that
Yes.
I'm here.
Myrtle Beach is one of our unique locations. It closes at 4 p.m. It has a full liquor license there. So they actually do pretty well with the mimosas and all of that. Here at this location, we'll have a liquor license at the end of May. And in Baltimore, we are actually relocating the current location to Fells Point, and that one will have a liquor license as well.
Okay, that is wonderful. So, when we talking about, activities and, it can be strenuous getting these liquor license because again, I know I work in the county stuff and I know how it can be very struggling to getting the responsibilities with the liquor license. So, maintaining, the mimosas and this and that. So the other activities that you will have, um, share with the audience the activities that you have going on and where can they find them.
You want to do?
No.
Okay. the so we have in all of our locations, whether it's this brand or some of our other concepts, we typically do an activity calendar. One thing that we pride ourselves on is that we've always been embedded in the community. I believe, and I say this very transparently, I believe that every business in our community is not for our community. And what I mean by that is, I think it's a privilege to own a business, but if you're not reinvesting in a community that you're taking money from, then my personal opinion is that you probably shouldn't be conducting business in that community. A lot of folks get upset when I say that, especially other business owners. But I believe that part of our obligation and responsibility as owners is to keep the reinvestment going on. It's also to make sure that we develop folks that work for us. We don't just hire folks. You want to develop folks for the next stage and the next tier of their life. Part of the activity calendars that we do is that we do family night. I was a high school dropout. I was in trouble when I was a teenager. I was homeless. Candace was homeless, sleeping in her car. Um, and part of the reason that I think both of us that we have in common is that you go through a past, and part of that I felt that I was neglected was some of the family connection. So what we do is we have family night in our restaurants as well, whether it's playing bingo, whether it's movie night with the kids. We actually have popcorn. We bring in popcorn. We don't cook it. So I'll tell you now, we try to do everything scratch made. We don't scratch make no popcorn. I still put it in the microwave. So put the popcorn in the microwave, pop it for the kids, let them enjoy coloring, watching a Disney, we have Disney, what is it, on TVs in here?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. So it's really trying to bring that family culture, that family atmosphere back into the restaurants. We also have, I don't really like the term senior night. I call it our wiser individuals. But folks that, we have senior night where they come and they do a lot of the different activities as well. We actually just featured at one of our other locations a senior walk where we went out walking. We actually reached out to law enforcement. They kind of did a what do you call it, escort through the city, and then we ended back at the restaurant where we just had like cupcakes, homemade cupcakes and coffee and teas and all that for our seniors. So those are some of the things that we do, but we do kind of a wide range of different activities. We also have school night where you can bring your kids, and we bring the college students in, and they tutor the high school kids, and they talk to them about, hey, what to look for when you go to college. So these are just things I think makes us kind of different to where a lot of families come and support the business.
Ricky, one thing that you said that is very empowering. I can see myself in similar situations with you guys. What I always stand to tell people, because you didn't even inspire me even more when you said being homeless. You've been in for those who been there, and now I can see the heart of it when you say being homeless and was just just disrupted youth. It's in the circumstances of your community that make you like that.
Yeah,
But look at you now, owner of restaurants, businesses, which is amazing.
yeah,
And kudos to you, because you are examples of, you don't have to stay where you were at. You can move and excel beyond to greatness. So, we all have made mistakes in our lives, but we learn from them and we done moved on to them. And I commend you guys for even being with that transparency. See, I knew I like you guys. I like that transparency portion.
well, a,
And
a lot of people they find out a lot about me even by going to my website. I think that um, I don't call them mistakes. I call them lessons. I think in life you go through a lot of lessons. Some of the lessons help you to grow. Some of the lessons will hold you back if you allow them to hold you back. My testimony is to go from being a high school dropout to a GED to a graduating from Hampton University magna cum laude to an MBA to a PhD to law school, from being homeless to a homeowner, from being a minimum wage worker at McDonald's to now a proud owner of over 150 restaurants, and to being a little trouble as a teenager to now out in the community and engaged. And the beauty about it is, and I know this isn't uh, a church, but the beauty about it is God still isn't finished with us yet. But I think, and I always tell folks that our history doesn't dictate our destiny. And I think so many folks get caught up around what has happened in the past versus what lies ahead of us. And so, we try to tell folks that. I mean, not only are we in the restaurants, we own clothing line, coffee line, daycare centers, entertainment company. And we always tell everyone that comes aboard with us that if you put in the work, if you put in the hard work, and if you don't make any excuses, sky's the limit. But a lot of times we limit ourselves because we don't work at it. We don't work for it. So,
boy, you make me. You saying this ain't church, but we have free reign here on Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, because we know it's the three that got to work together. So, so look, audience, I need you to go grab some tea. I need you to go grab something and tap this and share this with a couple of your friends, because look, you get ready to hear some more about Mr. Ricky and Miss Candace here. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your guest, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul podcast, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And we are here with the Less Brunch Cafe owners, Mr. Ricky Vaughn and Miss Candace Green, right here in Fellersburg, Maryland. They are doing it. Look, doing it well. I can't do it just as much like LL Cool J, but doing it well. And they just gave a transparency of of their life, and what they're doing. And I'm this has really inspired me, man. I'm like, it don't take much, but when it talks about how you were there, and look at you, some kids today need to hear that because we have so many kids that don't have that guidance like they used to. You know how grandma and them used to come up and guide you and lead you, and that type of message that you just gave about you done went from going from your GED, going to Hampton, and now you're a business owner of businesses of businesses is like over the the restaurant, daycare, media, entertainment. I'm like you doing it, and you doing it to help others, and that's what it's all about. So that's one of my major things when you talk about doing things in the community. Those, and you're right, I agree with you. As myself as a business owner, it can, the struggle is real, and everybody thinks everybody thinks, but you got to have good help, and you got to have those keepers, in your circle. And that's why you got to be with like-minded individuals
Yeah.
when you're doing this process, because you don't want everybody in your circle that's going to tell you yes. Because
Yes.
if not, you just got a circle.
Correct.
So I love it, and I love this atmosphere. I love that you're trying to bring in community and families, because I think even with this pandemic that we are still in and going through, but it's guiding out to some, family was most important. Do you agree with that?
Definitely.
Definitely. I mean, I would say we both. I mean, um, it's when you really, you said it earlier, when you have to now look at the generational uh, kind of change or switch that we're currently in. When we were growing up, the house had Big Mama in it. And Big Mama made sure that you did your homework. Big Mama made sure that if mom and dad didn't cook, then Big Mama cooked. And now we've shifted from a generation that, and it's no fault to any generation, but we've kind of transitioned to a generation that, well, mom and dad are younger, and respect, as well as mom and dad are both working 2 and 3 jobs. To try to make ends meet because of the economy and because of the world that we've kind of shifted or transitioned to. And so with that, it has taken Big Mama out of the house. And so what we've tried to do in our throughout our organization is trying to bring the family and Big Mama and the culture back to the home, to where like even our kids, grandma helps with homework when we're not there, when we're traveling. And so, this is actually, I think in business, especially in the restaurant industry, it's a great opportunity for you to kind of tie that culture into. We always tell folks this: some of our rules, a lot of folks can't work for us. I'm very transparent. I tell them that way. You can't work for us. If your grades going down in school, you can't work for us. We want you to flip a burger because you want to flip a burger, not that you're forced to flip a burger because you don't have any other alternatives. But part of the things that we do here is, they got to bring in their report card. I started my career when I was 14 at McDonald's. And I wound up being fortunate to work my way up to a young manager. I became an 18-year-old store manager, a 20-year-old supervisor, and I became one of the youngest vice presidents at McDonald's at 25. So I was part of that. Work hard, it pays off. And when you look at what we currently have, I pay my son not to come work for us. I say, look, I'll pay you to stay at home. You can't come in. You don't go in none of our restaurants. Don't even buy nothing from us. Go buy from somewhere else. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So it's just one of those. I think. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Um, it's just one of. I'm sorry, it was one of the customers. He was giving us a compliment on the food. It's just one of those where you have to change you have to help change the culture. And here, I think we're doing it. We're trying to be part of it. We hire at 14. We give them an opportunity. But one thing I wanted to share with you that we do, I think, is very unique. When we hire someone, whether they're 14 or 18, we ask them, what are your short-term goals and what are your long-term goals?
Yes.
Many of the 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are still in high school, a lot of them say, you know what, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. And so what we do is we actually partner with attorneys, doctors, and they kind of do like in Baltimore, our Baltimore location. Some of our employees there, whether it's at our Let's Brunch or whether it's at our Dunkin' Donuts, we actually take the employees, partner them up with one of the physicians at John Hopkins, and they actually shadow that physician for a week. And part of that is because a lot of kids watch TV and say, I want to be a doctor. Do you know what's all involved in being a doctor? And so once they do it, they come back and say, you know what? I want to be a surgeon. Or you know what? I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. Or they're so excited, they be like, can I go back next week and work with them? So we do that in a lot of the professions just to try to, because again, in restaurants, and I'm pretty sure you know it, we become daddy, mommy, big brother, big sister, uncle, pastor, which they probably don't want to come to me for the pastoring part, but that's a different story. But we become that mentor in so many words to them, and so we help folks. I think, and it's a different subject, but I think we do not do a great job in our education system, unfortunately, with the curriculum. We're still teaching kids with outdated curriculums. We're teaching kids how to get out of debt, but we're not teaching them how to prevent getting into debt. And so we teach we have what we call career day every quarter in our organization. And we teach kids how to manage money, save up, if they want to buy a house, how to, look at different grants out there. So I think, owning a restaurant has been I think a big plus for us. But it's also been, what I would say encouraging, because listening to folks, seeing folks grow to that next level is why we do it.
Look, we got some comments coming in. Thank you, Sammy Moore, Tanya Sherwood. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And Victoria Holland says, I'm coming just to have dessert. But she says, see, that's a blessing. Your customers appreciating you, and you took the time to thank them. And look, audience, let me tell you something. While I was here, its customers are in here now. But let me tell you something. This just not a manager. He went right from the back with his clothes on, with his fresh cut clothes on, and he served those customers with it and brought it to them. Now, let me tell you something. That's what you want to see.
We appreciate. Well, I ain't want you to be sitting here and the lights get cut off because we going over there taking care of cups. That's a different story. It's we doing this interview with some candles at the table, so
But I'm telling you, he went behind the scenes, grabbed the plate, and he took it to the customers. And one thing, that's the kind of stuff and the kind of service that you want to see when you come into a restaurant. Because it's too many people just go ahead and just manage, but they don't really have the leadership what really comes up, because it all boils down to this. And I tell people weekly, it's about servitude first. It's nothing about us. It's about servitude first. And I see that you guys have a servant heart and a bird. So fellas, bird, listen up. I'm getting ready to sound the alarm. You guys need to flood this place. Abundance will be coming to this place, and I'm speaking to that. You look, when he talk about the workers, the workers, I'm gonna tell you, the young lady that's working up front, that she was the very first person I met when I first came in here. And I had told her, I said, look, I have a podcast, can you get with the owners? And she was like, I'll make sure I give you a number. She has been hospitality with them till the thick and thin. So we through the thick and thin, because we all know that during this pandemic, a lot of people don't want to be working no more. I mean, some of that stimulus that came out, people don't feel like they need to work anymore. So
for my $600, but that's a different conversation. I'll be calling Biden later on. One of it's.
Hey, you waiting on the 600? I'm waiting on them student loans to be canceled. now I'm waiting. We can go both knocking together. How about that? We can go knock on the doors for that. Let's see how far we can get in, huh?
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Okay. You done heard it here on the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. We gonna go knocking and see what can happen. But again, let me tell you, first of all, I'm gonna show the audience, and let me give you what's on this menu here, because when I came here, and I'm gonna be honest, I ain't even really supposed to be eating a whole bunch of sugary sweets and stuff. But when I seen that Fruity Pebble, Good night. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, look, look at that audience! Look at that!
I do look good.
Good night! Look at that! Look what's on this menu. It's Let me tell you, let me tell you what I have tried so far, and this is me. I'm a Sunday morning person, and I just might be lazy some Sunday mornings. I don't want to go to McDonald's, and I'm being honest. Don't get me wrong. Now McDonald's was my start too. I done went to Hamburger University, all of that too.
Okay, okay. I'm one of
Hey,
the HU
thank
grads.
you, yay!
Always,
Hey,
always got to tell people I graduated from both HUs, Hamburger University.
but let me tell you, I'm the type of person that I don't want no McDonald's for at no 11 o'clock. No, I want breakfast food. So less brunch breakfast cafe here. Let me tell you something. I came here and got an omelet. I'm gonna tell you now, and I'm gonna make you laugh. And Lord forgive me. I would I get ready to say, but that make me go down, smack my mother who's dead, and bring her back alive. that 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 omelet was good. It was really good. I mean, they have so much a variety of everything. Sobo Benedict, and that's another thing. Applejack pancakes, fruity pebble pancakes. Um, I mean, it's a lot of stuff on here. And I also had the salmon. I also tasted the salmon. It was really good. And some people can make it not right, but it was fit to the T here. Um, I'm just looking for the rest of what's on coming up on the menu. But one of the things that Ricky had told me that he lets the employees see, this is where also you got to think about. It's just not you always giving out the orders, but you also invest in your employees and let them do some of the menu. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's actually for folks that haven't realized. So we mentioned we own the daycares as well. So Candace is typically the daycare kind of guru. So she taught a whole bunch of the kids. She's just quiet everywhere else. But one of her ideas was to let the employees come up with their own creations. And so we, again, what I mentioned earlier as far as helping our staff get to the next stage, harvesting their talents, is a creation that she came up with. Was like, hey guys, on a weekly, some of our stores do it daily. They do daily specials. But this location in particular does a weekly special. And what we do is we take the employee of the week and kind of let them create kind of like, oh, what's your favorite meal? So what they do is they work with the chef, with the chef or the store manager, and kind of create a dish that will be kind of like their signature dish for the week. And what we also do is we give part of those proceeds to that individual in like a bonus per se. Whether whether they're 14, 15, because we have I think last week creation was by a 15-year-old, which was a dessert. So we actually give them a part of the proceeds to actually put towards like a bonus for them. Part of the reason is not just the monetary, but it's also letting them feel part of the team. The one challenge that I had at McDonald's, even when I started my career with them early on, is that I didn't really feel part of the team sometimes. And it wasn't because they were intentionally being negligent or anything like that. It was just kind of, they had a script. And it was kind of like, okay, well, this isn't the protocol that we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have franchise, we have KFCs and Dunkins and, Checkers and other national concepts. And you're right, you get a script that you have to kind of follow and read. The playbook is what we call it, right? From the whole McDonald days, a playbook. Well, in this concept, we create the playbook as we go. And I actually like that because we are, soliciting the information and input from our staff. And it's been a huge success. Activity days that we talked about earlier, our staff put that together. They put together, a couple of weeks we have at one of our other locations in Myrtle Beach, we have the fire department that's going to be there doing a safety class, giving out fire smoke detectors and letting the kids get on the truck and all that. That was an activity that one of the employees put together. So we actually just, again, liked the fact that they feel part of the team. You know, I never wanted to walk in a restaurant and folks kind of button up their shirt and their jacket and put the tie on and say, oh, they go to owners. But, you know, when we pull on the parking lot, oh, there go Ricky. Hey, there go Candace. Let's go and say hi. So I think, you know, when you have that, when you don't have kind of that hostile environment, it rubs off on your customers. I mean, you think about it, when you have those military type, and nothing wrong with the military, don't get me wrong, but when you have the military kind of button up manager type of culture, then you got folks walking around on eggshells, and
Right.
it passes off to your customers because it's like, you know, they're not over there with a genuine smile, and they're not over there kind of with the sincere like, hey, did you like that? Is it good? Let me go fix it. It's more of a like, that's wrong, and then they walk away and they turn away, whatever the case may be. So we've just had much success doing it this way, and I'm one of them firm believers, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
All right. So we are going to take another quick break. And when we come back, on top of his other businesses, you're going to hear more about what Mr. Ricky does. And you will be surprised. Again, we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond, and I am here on site at Let's Brunch Cafe here with the lovely owners, Mr. Ricky Vaughn and Miss Candace Green. Let's get them a shout out. Yay, Fellows,burg. We on the map. We on the map here in Fellows,burg, Maryland. Again, Mr. Ricky, I know you say there's some more exciting stuff that's going to be coming out, here on the Eastern Shore. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of treasures here on the Eastern Shore. And I know that this Let's Brunch Cafe is a treasure right here. And you're right, surrounded by water. And I love the idea that you're about in the mix of trying to put like some patio space outside.
Yes, we're super excited about that. We actually just got the green light from zoning. Uh, we are actually down, so the property sits back on the water, and so we actually have a section that's part of the property that we're building out a patio. It's going to also have steps leading down to the water. So if folks are kayaking and the smaller boats, or whatever, we'll be able to pull up at the dock and actually walk up the steps to the patio. And we're excited about it. It's going to be, I believe if you're going to do it, just do it big. So it's not going to be just a chair out there with an umbrella. Well, it depends. If y'all come out and support us, it won't be a chair with umbrella. If y'all don't come out and support us, it's going to be an umbrella with one fold up chair. So that's to come. But what we've gotten from the planning and the drawings is that we're going to have outdoor fans, in the summer and when it's hot out there. We're going to have the heat lamps and the fire pit for the winter. We actually are, it's crazy. That's how you know you're getting older, because the mayor was here today.
Yes, she was. When I walked in, Mayor Abney was here. Yes, she
And,
was.
and I have to give a shout out to her. She's been a huge, huge supporter. Her and the city council. And when she came today, we were talking, and I was telling her, like, Madam Mayor, I'm so excited because we got the okay to build a half a wall, and it's gonna say "Welcome to Downtown Federalsburg," and it's all again, it's something that we believe, again, is that reinvestment in the community. So that's out of our pocket, out of Candace's pocket, really. It's part of that. And I got her credit card on file for that one. It's part of that reinvestment. It's not going to say, welcome to downtown Federalsburg, Let's Brunch Cafe. It's not about us. It's about downtown Federalsburg. You got other businesses down here. You have the insurance company, Mr. Charles, right across the street. You got the nail salon right across the street. But it's about beautifying our city. And I always say, some folks be like, well, you're not from Federalsburg. But again, I believe that when you have businesses, when you have establishments there, you want to be part of the community. We've
Yes.
already reached out to the churches. We've reached out to the schools. We're going to have the sign at the school. We're sponsoring the school. Was the football field at the school. But it's being part of that community because, again, it's not only, we appreciate the dollars coming in, but we appreciate and understand that families are trusting us not only to serve them food, but their kids work here, their families work here. So we have an obligation, responsibility to the entire community. So we're super excited about that. And that's to come. It should be here, should be finished and done I would say by the time we kick off June 1st is our goal.
All right. So look, Victoria's making her way here. She said, "I know where I'm having my wedding reception. Get ready."
Thank
We appreciate it. We'll be ready for you. And I think we shared with you, we're not even done on the inside. We have new tables and chairs coming. As you see, the booths are new. Unfortunately, COVID has kind of put a delay in a lot of things that we've been trying to recover in the restaurant and just in business in period. But the booths came in, but we're still waiting on the chairs and the new chairs and tables that's coming in. We have out front of the building, we have the plants and the pottery that's coming. And we also have some local artwork from Federalsburg. I believe one of the young men is from Federalsburg. So a lot of things is coming. We're just not finished yet. We're hoping to have our ribbon cutting ceremony and actual grand opening. We had a soft opening, but the grand opening is going to probably be in the first week of June. And by then we'll also have our liquor license. So, we're gonna, for those in the community, we're gonna serve responsibly. We ain't gonna get everybody tore up. We're gonna make sure that they can get back home safe and all that. So, but we're hoping to have everything in place with the interior, with the design, as well as with the patio and all that by the first week of June.
Okay, Fellersburg, I'm calling on you to support this brother and sister here in this community. You cannot ask for more. Now it's been, um, I'm just gonna put it out there. We go somewhere else and we don't get nothing back from that community. Sometimes you'll just get a strange look. So I want you to put out there. I'm gonna do what I can. If I gotta push you every week on the show, I'll do that. Push it out there every week. So I will do that. So, as you heard earlier, Mr. Vaughn said earlier about the mayor was here. So, Mr. Vaughn, tell the audience, what else do you do?
We, I say we because they always say that behind every decent, I ain't gonna say I'm a good, every decent good man is a good woman, and I changed that. I changed that saying. I don't know who gave me the authority to change it, but I changed it. I say beside every good man is a good woman. Because my queen doesn't stand behind me. She's right next to me. We do this together. We have a couple of things. One, jointly, we have a coffee line, which is First Cup Coffee, which is our own independent brand. We have a clothing line, which is Urban Gear USA. And then we have a entertainment line with nightclubs and all that, and comedy shows. The Love and Laughter Tour that was with Ricky Smiley and Fantasia was our one of our concepts, one of our business ventures and entertainment. And lastly, I dabble a little bit into politics. I ran for mayor of Baltimore the last election. I suspended my campaign that's when COVID really took its toll. So I suspended that campaign to focus on building our brand, building our restaurants and our businesses. And also, I think it was time. I think there's a place and time for everything, or time and place for everything. And I think at that time, we were a city that was going through a healing portion. And so I didn't think it was the right time for me to be out there campaigning, asking for votes when folks were hurting. I think that my energy was best needed in the community, even if it's a hug, even if it's a hey, can you come talk to my knucklehead son because he's just not doing right this week. And so I really enjoyed that part. I've always had a passion for politics. I got into politics when I was 14. I worked for Kurt Schmoke, who was a former mayor of Baltimore. And that's when I kind of gained that love for politics between him and Carl Stokes, who was a city councilman at that time. And so I've always done behind the work scenes. I was the vice president of the Baltimore City Youth Council. I was the youngest to serve in that role. And currently, right now, I am uh, running for running for office in the 43rd Legislative District for delegate. And part of that, the initiative or the part of the reasoning behind that is I believe, again, I'm from Baltimore, but I believe, and a lot of folks can say what they want about Baltimore, which we're going through a storm right now. But at the end of every storm comes a sunshine, comes a rainbow. And I believe in order to fix Baltimore, you must fix it not from a holistic standpoint, but you should fix it family at a time, community at a time, neighborhood at a time. And so running for delegate, it allows me to put more focus on a district with community organizations, with associations, with families, versus looking at the city from a holistic standpoint.
Wow. If I was in Baltimore, you would have my vote.
Well, thank you, thank you. It's ironic. So many people say they want change, but we don't vote for change. We vote for popularity, or we vote for convenience. And one thing that I've taken a lot of criticism for is that yes, I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm for the people. And what I mean by that is our deputy campaign manager is a Republican. My office manager, or not office manager, our press secretary is a Republican. I believe if you want to truly bring change, whether it's to a restaurant, whether it's to a business, or whether it's to politics and government, you have to have not only everyone at the table, but a voice at the table, a seat at the table. And if that means it's a Republican, an independent, a Democrat, if that means it's white, black, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, woman, male, transgender, it doesn't matter. Every folks should have a seat at the table to be heard because once you're elected, you're not the elected officials for Democrats. You're the elected officials for that district, for those people. So if you are not willing, and you said something earlier that I always tell folks, in order to get to it, you must go through it. So if you're not willing to sit down with someone and understand their background and their challenges and their obstacles, how can you bring solutions or bring resources there for those individuals? And so many people say, well, you don't have to go through it to get to it. Well, I beg the difference. You either have to go through it to get to it, or you have to be willing to sit down with someone who has gone through it to get to it. So if you're not willing and open-minded to do that and to have those conversations, then it's probably not for you.
Well, well. Mm.
What's going on? I don't know.
I'm not going to church.
I
No,
don't know.
no Benedict.
Come on now. Look, I got some comments in here. Well, I like to thank Kimberly Green. She said that you guys are the Baltimore power couple. We have my god sister who's from Virginia. She is Virginia Beach. She said you are a blessing. Keep up the awesome work. I have Auntie Goals. She said, stay focused and keep up the great work. Kay Clark says, come on with what's good in the community. Victoria said, come on now, preach. Oh my God, they get ready to speak in tongues in here. So Victoria said, pass the offering plate. And Kay Clark says, Shondo. I love it. I love it. I love
Appreciate you all.
it. I love it. I love it. Well, I just want to say whatever I can do here on this media to help you to get it forward because I'm local here in Fellows,burg. If I gotta go give me some flyers, I go on the door. Let me tell you, that's me. I'll go bang on the doors if I have to. We got a whole community of down here, apartments and stuff, whatever we need to do, I'm here for you guys. I'm all about community too. I've actually grew up in Talbot County, but this is where my husband is from, this Caroline County. So again, I got the football coach who's my relative here for Colonel. So if you want to do, the football night for the team, and I got the connections. That's one thing. That's a gift
Yes.
that he's given me. I have the connection. So I love it that he connects me with the same like-minded individuals. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming on um the showcase tonight of the Upfront
Thank
Mind Body and
you.
Soul.
You.
Any last words that you want to say? Cause listen, for those of you who are catching this replay, I repeat, you need to look in. If you ever had some dreams, some hurdles, these two individuals right here is showing face of that you don't stay where you at. You can plan to move into the now.
Yeah.
So definitely. So I'm gonna order me some food before I leave up out of here. I'm sorry, but I can I can tell you, you might need to come on down here. But one question I had: is there anything special going on for Easter next week?
Easter, I know we actually have a couple of the kids from the school that's going to be doing some decorating here. We're going to do some, I think the Easter egg hunt that they're putting together for the kids. You don't have to come buy anything. You don't have to be, come patronize. Not saying we don't want you to come patronize, but it's just something that we want to do for the community, for the kids. And I know it's not the mimosas because we don't have the liquor license yet, so I don't want the liquor board looking at this like, oh, they gonna try some liquor, we gonna get a license. It's the, what do you call it? The mocktail, huh? Mocktails. So I guess is the
Mocktails.
yeah, it's the imitation liquor. I don't know. It's like I don't.
Mock, not real.
Oh, it's not
So
real.
instead of a
So
cocktail.
it's not. Okay, I got you now. I'm a little slow sometimes. The yeah, because neither one of us drink. It's crazy to own restaurants and neither one of us drink. So yeah, we're doing that for Easter, which we can't wait. We can't wait for that. But the last thing that I'll say, I always give a shout out to our staff. I always tell folks, and we always tell folks, we would not be where we are if it wasn't for folks that wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go home at 9 o'clock at night because they're opening and running these restaurants. So we appreciate. We have an awesome general manager here that's from the community. Or from Caroline County, which is Christy. So a shout out to our staff. We sincerely love you guys. We appreciate you. And a shout out to our customers. And I'm very transparent. Opening up, again, this is a concept that does not have a manual. We have to create it as we go. Everyone's taste buds is a little different. Our chef here, might have a different recipe for South Carolina. So we may have not gotten it right on your first visit. And so what we ask is just give us another chance. I believe we serve a God of a second chance. So give us a second chance. Our chef, I think we've gotten a lot of the kinks out. We had some challenges with staffing at first, and I think now we are properly staffed. I think we got too much staff. So please come patronize because we're, I'm eating peanut butter and jelly tonight because I ain't got no more money. So we got too much staff on hand. But again, we would just sincerely say for those that we did not get it right the first time, our sincere apologies, but please give us a second chance to get it right. And when we don't get it right, whether it's the second chance you give us or whether it's a chance later on down the road, please let us know. We do have an office staff, and I assure you, it's just as I was running for public office, I look at every single comment in all 148 of our restaurants. I look at them, the good and the bad. I'm typically up until 2 o'clock in the morning looking at comments, and a lot of them I respond back to, not my office staff. So sincere apologies if we didn't get it right, but we will continue to strive to make sure we get it right on your next visit.
All right, audience. So again, we want to thank you and congratulations to you. I see so much more openings for this place. And like again, my platform is always open to you guys. Look, you got a sister here now. I'm sorry. That's just this is how I flow. But
We
I'm
appreciate
this
you.
this cake this rolling around here, everyone. It's really like rolling around and the smell in here is just like all over the place. But again, I want to thank you guys for coming in and let me share into your space tonight to just shout you guys out, to get you out there. So if anyone in the audience, we tell the audience what time do you open up and where's the location?
Absolutely. This location in Federalsburg is at 108 East Central Avenue. The hours of operations here is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Um, uh, we serve breakfast all day, so our menu is available all day. And so we have a kids menu as well. We're about to start doing some creative uh, entrees as well as different drinks. Like we have a blueberry lemonade. That's again, all of our dishes are homemade. That's why some of the experiences may have not been of some folks' likings because we're training them on how a homemade dish is. But even the desserts that are spinning around, the actual young lady that made those desserts are here tonight.
Where
So
is she? Let's let the audience see her.
that's Christy.
Chrissy.
Yeah. The
Excuse me.
yeah. So
I'm gonna pull it out that showcase right quick.
so she's coming. That made the desserts. Our sweet potato biscuits. The It's a never homemade recipe that we do. We have the sweet tea glazed biscuit, which is ironically it's a real 5-ounce biscuit, but the sweet tea glaze is actually what you think it is. It's actually sweet tea, but with a little bit of brown sugar. Can't give you all the recipe. Uh, and it thickens it up a little bit, and it's just glazed over a biscuit. It is one of the best, I would say, dishes I think we have, or entrees, or I'm sorry, a la carte that we have. So here's Christy. She's coming over. She is our general manager here, as well as I can say this, one of my favorite. But she also made the desserts. So, and that's her background. Her background is chefing. We also got Callie, who's the assistant manager. Come here, Callie. Come here, Callie. Come here, Callie. Come here, Callie.
Don't be shy. Don't be scared.
The reason why I'm bringing Callie over, I know, I'm sorry, Miss Michelle. Callie is one of our younger managers. And the reason why I wanted to highlight Callie is because a lot of times so many folks say that young folks are not mature enough or ready enough. And we have 18, 19, 20-year-olds running $2 million restaurants. So I want to give a shout out to my staff. We got Sam here tonight as well. Sam used to have another job. She left that job to work for us. You got Sam, who we absolutely love. Like, that's one of Candace's favorite folks too. Is Sam. So this is some of our staff that we have here, and they're local. Callie is local from Federalsburg. Sam is from Federalsburg. Sam is trying to get us on the farm. So we get some of them chickens. So, but local everything, and that's another thing I forgot to share. That's one thing that we do is we try to support other local businesses. As we were talking, Miss Michelle, about the local bakery.
Yes,
a lot of our restaurants we purchase bread, bakery, produce. I think we get produce right now locally as well. We like to do that because, again, we support other small businesses as well. But I just publicly want to say we sincerely appreciate the staff that we have. We love you guys a lot. We would not be where we are without you, and we do not take that lightly, and we do not take that for granted. So thank you. We appreciate the hard work. And Callie is here on her day off. Callie is on her day off. I think it's because she wants a sweet tea biscuit, but
We appreciate you guys.
so you heard it here first, here in Fellisburg, Maryland, at the Les Brunch Cafe, where breakfast is served all day. Look, because when I'm on my way to work, I see the policeman here all the time, and he's not having donuts. So he's not having donuts. He's here faithfully every morning.
Look, I ain't even going to front. When you from Baltimore City and you see a whole bunch of police on the parking lot, I was like, oh my goodness, what we do?
True story. First
True
day.
story.
We
True
were
story.
like, why are the police there?
It was like, oh my goodness, what happened? And I had to get on MVA real quick and run my license to make sure it was still legit. I was like, well, that was first day. I don't even want to really get into the details about that, but license is good.
So we appreciate you. And look, for those, all for you audience, please come and visit and support these wonderful two that's here to, to feed us good, nourish us good, and you're also getting some good home style cooking that, for nourishing for your body. So again, thank you guys. Hope everyone has a blessed week. And next week, we're back with my therapist friend, Miss Samara, and Samara's Self Care Corner. We will be back next week. We'll be enjoying some therapeutic. Again, you can't get therapy for free. So you might as well tune in next Tuesday because we have some therapy going on next week with Miss Samara M, my co host next week. So, again, if anyone has not told you that you are loved, just know that you are loved here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond.